I've been holding this inside for so long that it feels like it's been rotting a hole through me. Maybe if I let it out, the weight will shift. Maybe you'll understand, maybe you won't. But if you've ever loved someone with everything in you, only to watch them slip away like sand between your fingers, then maybe this will echo in your bones. The night I walked away from her, it felt like something inside me cracked. Not a clean break, but a jagged fault line I couldn't see the end of. I didn't understand then how far that damage would reach. I only knew that months later, I'd still be sitting alone, trying to sift through the ruins of a life I once believed couldn't be shaken. I told myself I was strong enough to leave without breaking apart, but the truth was, I was already splintered long before my hand touched the doorknob. I can still see the living room where it all began to end. The threadbare rug we bought from a thrift store, the rug where we once lay tangled in laughter and plans, where we whispered promises we thought would last forever. And then she said it. 5 words, quiet but lethal. Michael makes me feel alive. She didn't shout. She didn't cry. She just delivered the sentence like a verdict, her eyes sliding away from mine. I didn't ask her who he was. I didn't demand explanations. Tears burned at the edges of my vision, but I refused to let them fall. Not in front of her. Not after that. All I managed was a brittle. I hope he gives you what you're looking for. Even as I said it, I knew it was a lie. Deep down, I prayed that what she thought she wanted wasn't real. That she would look at me and remember I'd been the one who stayed, the one who kept showing up no matter what. But you can't hold someone who's already halfway out the door. Begging them to stay is just another way of dying slowly. So I left, not because my love had dried up, but because I couldn't keep loving someone who had already left me in her heart. The nights that followed were a hollow kind of brutal. Sleep abandoned me. Food turned to ash in my mouth. I holed up in a cheap motel 40 minutes outside the city, staring at a ceiling that never blinked, replaying every moment I wished I could take back, every word I should have spoken. My phone lit up with messages, calls from friends and family, but I ignored them. I couldn't bear their sympathy. It felt like salt on a wound. Eventually, I found a small apartment with no ghosts in it, no reminders of her. I picked up shifts at a hardware store to fill the hours. The owner, a grizzled old man with paint-stained hands, never asked about my life. Maybe he could see I wasn't there for the paycheck. I was there to keep my hands busy so my mind wouldn't unravel. Days bled into weeks. I painted the apartment walls. I adopted a rescue dog, Penny. She didn't heal me, but she gave me something to come home to. A reason to step out of bed when everything else felt pointless. Over time, I realized I didn't miss Brooke. Not really. I missed the idea of her. The version in my head who would always choose me, who would never betray me. But that version had never truly existed. 6 months later, breathing no longer felt like an uphill climb. I started talking to people at work. Grabbed coffee with someone once. Smiled without forcing it. It wasn't love, not even close, but it was forward motion. For the first time, Brooke's shadow wasn't sitting across from me at every meal. 9 months in, I felt steady. Not fixed, not whole, but steady. I wasn't waiting for her to apologize. I wasn't hunting for closure. I had built my own. And then one Thursday evening, she appeared. I had just come back from work. Sauce still on my shirt, groceries cutting into my arms. As I turned the key in my door, I heard my name. Michael. My body went still. She was there, Brooke. Same face, but carved down like life had hollowed her out. Her eyes were swollen, her hands clutching a letter. "I've been trying to find you," she said, her voice trembling. My heart was hammering, but I stayed quiet. She held out the envelope. Everything I never said. Everything I should have told you. I didn't take it. Not because I hated her, but because I had learned not to let her choices write the story of my worth anymore. Tears streaked her face, and for an instant, the old version of me flickered. The one who would have invited her inside, made tea, offered another chance. But that man was gone. Months of pain had burned him away. She broke down, confessing between sobs. She'd lied about Jason. She thought she needed more, but it was nothing. He didn't want her. He only wanted the thrill. She destroyed the only good thing she had. You were the only one who ever made me feel alive, she cried. For a heartbeat, I saw the woman I once loved. But we were strangers now. You didn't destroy us, Brooke, I said quietly. You destroyed yourself. Her face crumpled. I'm sorry, she whispered. I nodded once. I hope you heal, but I'm not yours anymore. Her tears came harder, but I didn't reach for her. That wasn't my role anymore. She turned and walked away, just as I had nearly a year ago. Inside, I sat down the groceries and sat beside Penny. My chest ached, but not with longing. It ached because the final thread between us had snapped, and in the quiet space it left behind, there was peace. If someone ever tells you they found more outside of what you built together, let them go. Don't plead. Don't chase. Don't barter for their return. Because the greatest thing you'll ever discover isn't an answer, and it isn't revenge. It's the freedom of no longer measuring your worth against someone who chose to.